I do not second that
Not
one.
alive, folks.
All right,
Okay.
nice work. Have a good meeting.
So is she in charge of the video?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
Make me look good.
I will, with that, I will call the meeting to order. And just to liven up, we have 2 clocks in the room now, and neither one of them keep time.
Okay.
I forgot my phone.
My phone's dead, so I'm not
So
helping you
what,
on
do we have a
that.
time?
Yes, it is.
5:01.
Ow, we're good.
Okay.
I'm apologizing to everybody for missing last month's meeting. Spaced it. Knew about it, thanks to your reminder. Thought about it Friday.
Well,
I apologize. We're
nothing-
back on.
Motion to accept the apology.
Second.
Second.
Thank you.
You might not get another one. We're at, first order of business is to approve minutes of September 16th.
September 16th and also June, because I did not have them printed for last
Oh,
meeting.
sure.
So there
So
are
move
copies.
to accept the June 10th, 2019 and September 16th, 2019 minutes and place them on file.
Second.
Good, I've gone over them, I haven't seen anything. Yeah, second, do we have any discussion? Discuss the minutes. Okay, hearing no discussion, have a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous, okay. We have just a scant agenda tonight, and John Stewart was supposed to be here to present his application to CPC for $200,000 for rental assistance. He's not. He emailed me and he's out of the state. And I asked him if he could send someone in his place, but apparently, obviously, he couldn't. So, I know everyone likes to see an application and have someone to defend it, but is that necessary for this particular?
I personally won't vote to approve anything that I don't see first.
Okay.
That's me.
Well,
And the applications are already in before CPC anyway, so I don't think that precludes us from supporting it in the future.
okay.
I mean, if it was supposed to be supported beforehand, it's already afterwards, so.
Okay,
This is a separate application from the 2 we voted on last
Correct.
month.
that's correct.
Okay.
So the consensus is, since there's no one, we don't have an application.
I'm
in front
speaking
of
for
us.
myself, so.
Oh, I agree.
No, I agree. I agree. I'd love to know, and you might know this, Mary, this is from the Housing Authority, it's $200,000 to continue the rental assistance, and does that money all get spent every year?
I don't know you,
I wish the guy was here.
that's a housing authority.
Just curious.
Okay, so,
I mean, you can't table it because it's got to go, CPC's going to look at it Thursday, right?
well,
Everything starts Thursday, but,
Bless you.
God bless you. Everything starts Thursday, but
Okay.
I suspect there are plenty of people that haven't gone to their underlying boards and commissions. So,
Yeah, okay.
so do we have a motion to table this to next meeting?
Will that be too late?
I don't know.
That-
Well, you
I
can't
don't
vote
know.
it. Well, you could.
We can
We
see
could.
at the next meeting.
You can
see her.
John
And
hear
can
next
we
meeting.
do an online, can we do an email vote? If he sends it to us, can we all?
No,
I
no.
don't
We could
think
do
the
a
board-
special
No.
meeting.
Great
I think it's a little dicey.
I don't think
Okay.
I don't think that's been approved.
Okay.
So can we make a motion to
Table.
table it, bring it up the next meeting?
Sure.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Are we doing a motion because so we need a second for just
I'll
tabling
second.
Okay.
concern?
We got a second, okay, good. Did you get Joe, did you get a copy of the,
Okay. Of the agenda, oh,
The-
Yeah, he's got everything.
and, you know, you
I've got it.
got everything, okay. Okay, everybody's got a copy, Mary got a copy? You do now.
Thank you. I'm the one that didn't have it.
You just assumed you already memorized it. 'Cause that's what you do working here,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Nope. Not a chance.
Not a chance. Okay, the next item is on our agenda, and then basically the only other item we really have is our continuing discussion on ways to find how we can become a partner and support the Housing Trust. Now, just to kind of, I don't know if you want to call it, back it up or whatever you want to call it, on the 23rd, whether I think that was the magic date, I gave our report to the Board of Selectmen, and I'll give you a hard copy. That was kind of scant, but that's what
We haven't had a lot of projects. Great, thank you.
that's what life is like.
Yep.
So it was just a kind of rundown about, answer the question. They have like 4 or 5 questions they want to have an answer to. Attendance, minutes, agendas, so on and so forth. So that's all taken care of. It's in the affirmative. Attended some workshops. Joe's been in a couple. I've been in most of them. Attended some meetings. And then the last item, which was our current situation. We just reached out, and I have reached out. I sent a letter to the board and requested an agenda item. I haven't heard back yet.
In terms of where we fit in conjunction with the trust?
Right.
That's what we talked about at the last.
So
When are we likely to hear?
I'm sorry?
When are we likely to hear about when it will be on the agenda?
The only date I heard initially was it would be December.
Wow.
I said,
Wow.
well, they're really taking that as a hot topic or a very important one. So I said, okay, I'll take that. But that wasn't even confirmed. So we won't be doing much until then.
Do we know of any of the housing trusts, what the trust is working on, if they have any projects in the
Yes.
queue or
Yes.
thoughts?
So
Okay.
what you missed on the last meeting was the 2 applications. One was a 550 that was like the other ones, that was,
Yep.
the fund. And then there was a joint application with the Concom for $1.2 million, 600 housing, 600 out of open space for a potential purchase of a parcel at the end of Deacon's Folly that would be potentially 4 lots that are buildable that could remain 4 or be made into like one large lot for affordable housing, and then the remaining to be conservation.
Okay.
So that was one of the
And that's
CPC
with the trust?
That was a trust application. It was a joint application with the trust and the Conservation Commission that came. So we had the 550 and the 1.2 last week. Last time that Charlie presented to us.
Okay.
So we have those 2. So I mean, the trust has those 2 going.
And they had, town administrator had come before CPC and had talked about kind of some other projects. I don't
Okay.
remember them off the top of my head, but they had started to evaluate.
So they got right now 2 pieces of property that they're looking at being evaluated. And the Massachusetts Development Partnership is doing the feasibility study.
Okay.
So-
Community development, CDP, Community Development Partnership is doing the
No,
feasibility?
Mass Housing
Partnership.
Oh,
Mass-
MHP, Mass
MHP.
Housing Partnership,
Mass-
okay.
And they've been contracted.
Okay.
So it's all hinging on, what the outcome of that is, and then either go forward or reach down in the bag and pull up another parcel to look at.
So, all right, back to this. I don't want to jump back, but when you met with the Board of Selectmen, and you had this whole discussion here, did they give you any feedback, any thoughts, any whisper of what?
No, I haven't met one.
Oh, this is what you're going to do.
This was his
This
presentation.
is the annual report.
Right, and you did that in front of the BOS, right?
I sent, here's what I actually did. I actually sent an email to town secretary requesting to be put on the agenda. Okay. And she got back to me fairly quick and said that she would. And at that point, the earliest it probably would be, I believe the date was December.
Oh, I see. Okay.
10th, or 9th or 10th,
sorry.
whatever a Monday night is. So that was that. So And at the same time, at the presentation for our annual meeting with the board, which is an open meeting, I made this last comment here that how this is where we're at, and we're waiting for clarification and, you know, see where we can go.
Okay.
That's it. So, anyway, but the only thing that I guess for just to add that did come up, and it just was kind of a general consensus, was to be like, one of the things that was the consensus was that we could be more of a marketing tool for the trust. But that was the only thing that floated up our last meeting. It was just kind of the type of thing. So if anyone else has any other comments or suggestions or whatever, please don't keep them to yourself.
Yeah.
You know, I just...
I don't know how big CDP's role is going to be, and it seems like they're blossoming out with the trust. It looks like they're going to take on many facets of responsibilities. Yeah. And that could be one of them.
Well, I think a lot will do when they haven't put together an action plan. The trust has to put together an action plan, so kind of a footprint of which way they're going to be going, and what and the things they're going to be actually looking at. And obviously, you know, the main thing is housing, but there's many facets to it. And right now, they're doing things. But if someone comes to them and says, geez, I would like X number of dollars to build something or whatever, and where's your application, can I fill it out? And they wouldn't know how to act on that because they haven't set up any kind of parameters as to how they're going to handle expending their funds.
I don't think that means that they don't know how to handle it, I think.
Well, maybe that's the wrong
I think they
term.
don't know, I think it's early and it's still trying to figure out.
Yeah.
They've taken the action of trying to check on the feasibility of the lots that they currently own. And you know, we'll find out, I guess, but I'd take it one step further to Joe's comment with CDP. We don't know what that $50,000 is proposed to be next year. It's more than last year. Charlene had presented to us and said then they think they needed more, they'll need more hours. So that's kind of the way, you know, what she had said. And then, you know, I'm sure that contract hasn't been negotiated yet. You don't know what that statement of work is going to look like, right? And I think that statement of work will drive what they're going to do for us, for the trust, you know.
Okay.
Just as an aside, there are no expiring use projects. There are no deed restrictions that are coming to their 20-year end, except for the few single-family homes.
I don't know the answer to that question.
that we
Yes,
looked
there
at.
is.
We know Pine Oaks is okay.
Yeah, but there's like 8 or 9 that are by year 20, 21, or 22. Their deed restriction will fall off. They were the ones that
Yep.
they got a deed restriction because they got a grant or a loan or whatever it was to do some major repairs on their house.
I think that's what we need to focus on to ensure that affordability stays.
Well,
And that's the trust money can go there, whether they purchase it or,
So who's been in control of those, of monitoring that? Has that been this committee?
nope, I don't think so.
It really didn't, it didn't really fall into anyone's bailiwick, so to speak.
It had to fall into somebody's bailiwick.
Well, it got forced onto the town planner. Well, forces it, that's not a good word. But what brought it to it was the thing with the Pine Oaks. And we were able to secure a letter stating that,
And if they've
there was no
renewed
stay.
their contract with HUD, yep, so that,
And
What's
that-
the process of renewing a deed restriction and why would it happen?
well, the old deed restrictions, the old deed writers were 20 years. So
Right.
there's no way to enforce that
Right.
owner to continue. They could
Right.
sell, they could, I think we
So
should
what are
look
the
at,
options for us, I guess is my question.
Well,
well, an entity like CDP or Housing Assistance Corporation could go in and purchase that,
And then put a deed restriction on it.
knowing, and we would get
So,
funding to
I
purchase
see.
it, so that it put on the universal deed restriction from DHCD.
Okay.
I think that's just something we want to
Well,
look at. You can't
yeah.
force anybody's
Right.
hand,
Yes.
but
Yeah, I don't know how you're gonna, if they've satisfied the deed
Absolutely.
restriction, how are you gonna sell that to someone and say, okay, now, going forward, after a certain
Yeah.
date, you wanna make your home deed restriction?
Right.
Well, it's a
Well,
purchase, right? It's a-
right,
you have to
it's
pay them
it's
for it.
something. You got to pay,
It'd have to be some sort of
but I think
monetary,
2021 isn't that far away, right? So
No.
if we could start
Well,
those
actually, there's a couple of
Not to
negotiations.
negotiate
Actually,
something.
there's a
Right,
couple that
exactly.
fell off already. The only thing that's holding is the fact that they haven't sold.
Right,
It only becomes an issue when you sell it,
right.
that we could lose that.
But I do think that's
Offer
something,
regardless.
and we have it on our housing, we have those
On the
addresses
housing production plan.
to see. But no, you can't force somebody, but if
No.
Hetch has approached Housing Assistance Corporation on a few properties that we're moving forward on, HAC is, and we will apply the universal deed
Mhm.
rider.
Okay.
But Hetch is different than a
Mm.
private party.
Right.
But I think it's something that should be on our radar. And with housing trust money, that could be a quick buy
Mhm.
and keep that affordable.
Well, and it could just be buying a right of first refusal or something
Mhm.
simple where we don't have to wait for the expiration and
Mhm.
just say
Right,
for
say,
this
we're gonna do
much.
this, can we do this, yeah.
Okay.
I don't
And
know.
it's probably also something that we just need to make sure that somebody's aware of it,
Mhm.
because I don't know that we actually have we don't have the money or the authority
We
to
don't have
actually
the
do
money,
it.
nope.
But, if we find out about them, then we can call them to their attention.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
Good point.
So without belaboring it, do we have any other comments or?
Mary Beth, does anyone know what the renewal date for the contract with CDP is for the housing authority?
I would suspect it's a calendar, it's a fiscal year end.
It's a fiscal
but
year?
I can't swear to it, but that's what I would
Do
think
you
it
mean
is.
housing authority or housing trust?
The
Housing
trust,
I
I'm
mean, it's a
sorry.
trust.
That's okay,
Yeah,
yep.
okay. I think it's a bit of a pivotal point as it
Well,
relates to
the-
what we would do.
So, the 50,000 that they're applying for now, they wouldn't get that 50,000 for that contract until, the earliest would be after town meeting next year, or July 1st.
July 1st, that's what
So,
I thought.
depending on whether it's anticipated 2022, or whether it's current, so.
But it's also, if it's something that we think we want to take on, they could use that money for something else. So it seems like we could maybe try to communicate that to them before they get too deep into
Yeah,
Right.
well,
allocating the
one thing
money.
they've already corrected was the fact that they had the housing coordinator
Mhm.
taking minutes
Yeah.
of the meetings. Now,
Yes, we
tell
learned
me-
that last meeting.
That-
For
that was
10 hours a
ridiculous.
week.
Yeah,
Most of it was spent on minutes.
So, I mean,
that was not the intention of the
Good
CPC
utilization
funds.
of time.
No.
no, and I don't know how that came about, but that was like, it's a very costly way to get your minutes. There's a lot of people in the building here that could,
Yeah.
press the button to do it. And, the meetings are recorded, and you don't have to take the perfect notes. Get back to the,
No, but somebody still
Well,
has
it's
to
not
do the
easy,
minutes.
but
You still
it's not
do.
10 hours.
but you have the recordings to
Yeah.
review.
Right,
Right, it's
somebody
not-
still has to
minutes aren't
convert the minute,
Oh, yeah.
convert the meeting
Yeah,
into
and
minutes.
post them correctly, but no,
Right.
it shouldn't, that's not the intention of funding the coordinator.
right.
And that's what we had said to Charlene last week.
One little thing
Nope.
they took care of.
Thank you.
Anyways, so, Joe, have you been to anything, just to throw a little extra conversation going here?
Yeah.
Stretch the meeting out a little bit. Being our new appointee to the.
Thursday,
Oh, Thursday, you
Yeah.
do your first meeting?
picked up a big package.
Oh, yeah? Oh,
Happy reading.
Mhm.
happy reading?
Yes.
So you got all the applications to
You
go
won't miss
through,
it
or-
this year, trust me.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's all right. I would absolutely, I absolutely would have been a part of
Okay, so, I know you're sworn to secrecy.
No, no, I
No,
just,
no, no.
they haven't dived into it yet.
Not
Oh.
until Thursday, plenty of time.
You got plenty of time. When's the meeting?
We don't
Next
vote
Thursday?
on them until January or February, so.
That's when it gets hot and
it.
heavy. huh?
Who's the chair? Is it still
David.
Dave?
Still David.
Okay, without any ado, then we gonna have do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
A second?
Second. Any discussion on it? No, guess not. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
What's
Thank
the
you very
time?
much.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
5:22.
And we're done, and I will
You can turn off
push the message.
cameras.